Hi, this is A. Wesley. That ain't who tells it like a TI is. If you like my video, please give it a thumbs up. If you like my channel, please subscribe. The topic I'm going to talk to you today about is Porsha Family Matters. Porsha Family Matters episode 3 happened this past Sunday. Porsha's show is really has been Porsche show really has been good these last 3 episodes. It's been drama all 3 episodes, and this episode was no different. Like I just mentioned, it started off with Lauren and it started off with Lauren talking to her daughter about the trip, and then Lauren's daughter was saying that she don't mind going on the trip. She just hope it's no meditation. And then Lauren says, well, there's always going to be some meditation with the spiritual advisor. And Portia's daughter said, not on my watch. And then the next thing you know, the doorbell rang, and Portia had opened the door for Lottie. And then Lottie and Lauren were talking about how they were going to try to find a way to get Dennis to go on the trip to Mexico with them because they wanted Dennis to go on the trip. And so Lauren was saying that they're going to go to Portia's house and get Dennis's Versace robe and try to bribe him with the Versace robe and so he could come on the trip. So it switched to the scene where Portia was cooking breakfast for her daughter Pilar, and then after she made her daughter Pilar for breakfast, her mother walks into the room, and her and her mother gets to talking about her barbecue and what happened at the barbecue that she had for her birthday party, and she was saying that she didn't like the way Mama Gina was talking to Grandma Ida, and Portia said she didn't like it either, and Portia's mama said she didn't like the fact that Mama Gina was taking up for Dennis and stuff like that, and she was saying she had to kind of hold her tongue or be cool about the way Mama Gina was treating Ida. And then the next scene showed Londie and Lauren entering Portia's house. They entered the house quietly, left some of their stuff at the bottom of the stairs, and then the next scene is where Londie entered some kind of room, and the room was kind of junky. But anyway, she entered the room and uh, she was looking for Dennis's Versace robe, and the next scene showed, I guess they found the Versace robe because the next scene showed Londie and Lauren, and then Londie texted Lauren in the car and said that she got the robe and they could go ahead on. And then the next scene was with the next scene was showing everybody getting ready for the trip. They showed Portia's Aunt Darlene and her daughter Stormy getting ready, and Stormy was saying that she wanted to get to know Portia better, and then it also showed it also showed Portia getting ready, talking to her assistant about the trip and why she wanted her on the trip, and then also Portia's aunt Liz was talking to I mean she was talking to one of Portia's aunts about going on the trip, and one of them mentioned that one of the aunts said that Simon is not too much younger than us, and then they showed the picture and they said the Aunt Liz was 70 and Dennis' mama was 61 and Simon was 57. I said 57. I said, I'm only 2 years older than Simon. I just turned 60 in November, and I'm looking at Simon look way older than me. And I was saying, well, I guess it is. Maybe it's old age. But anyway, the next scene is where Lauren and Londie met up with Dennis and told Dennis that they wanted him to go on the trip. And Dennis said, well, he didn't know about going on the trip. He didn't think he wanted to go on the trip. And then he said he'd have to think about it. And then after he thought about it, he said, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go on the trip because my mom is going on a trip. Mama Jean is going on a trip, and I think it was Lauren and Londie that had mentioned that to him. So he decided to go on the trip, and so everybody had boarded the bus. The next scene was everybody was boarding the bus, and everybody boarded the bus. And while they were on the bus, Lonnie decided, I think it's in Londie decided to call Dennis and ask Dennis what happened to him, why he wasn't on the bus, where was he at. Dennis told Londie that he had some business he had to take care of, and he was gonna be there. So he came up. He showed up. He showed up at the airport a little bit late, but he came. And so the next scene was when they showed them arriving in Mexico, and they all got out, and they were greeted by the staff and also by the Mimbo dancers. Porsha was talking about. That was a real good scene. And then the next scene is where Porsha decided to sign all the people their rooms. She said that Simon and Porsha was going to be together, and I think Darlene and Storm was in the same room, and she said that her and Londa and Dennis was gonna be in the same room. But Dennis was shocked and surprised. Dennis said, "I don't want to be in no room with y'all. I want to get my own room." And she said, "No, no, you can come on, Dennis." And so Dennis decided to come on. And so Lauren showed Londa her room, and she was showing Dennis his room. And Dennis said, "Well, this room is all right, but it ain't what I want. I still want another hotel." And Dennis asked Lauren, "Where's your room? Let me see your room." So when Lauren took Dennis to see her room, Dennis saw how she had a bigger bed. She had a big outdoor view. She had a small pool and all that kind of stuff. And then they went upstairs and they went outside to be on the balcony where she had the outdoor pool. And Dennis said, "You got the best room. Why you gonna give yourself the best room?" She said, "Because I don't want to play in the truth, so I get the best room." And the next thing you know, Dennis was smiling and laughing at her. He picked up Laura and throw her in the pool. And then I guess they had all the commotion. And then that's when Londie came out to see what was going on. I am sorry. That is inappropriate to me. Dennis is Portia's ex-boyfriend. Lauren, you should have assigned him a room with Dom, or either gave him a room by itself. To me, that was very, very inappropriate of you, Lauren. I don't know if you're trying to get with Dennis or something like that because your relationship failed. But to me, that was poor planning. I wouldn't have put no man in a room with two women. I'm sorry, I just wouldn't do that. And then after that, they were getting. Let me backtrack a little bit. When before they were going to the trip, Portia told her mom what happened, and then her mom said that Mama Gina lied on her. She didn't tell her that Portia cheated on him. Now back to the original thing. They were getting ready to go to dinner, and everybody showed up at the dinner table. And Lauren said in her confessional that she had to bring the spiritual advisor because it's tough for her handling all of the family members from Portia's mama side and Portia's daddy side. And so she said she had to need the spiritual advisor to help her. And so the spiritual advisor came around and she gave them spiritual water, and they started praying and meditation. And Dennis was saying, "Oh no, this is much. This is way too much on the trip. Way too much." I'm glad Dennis did say that. I mean, they could have just said a little silent, a private prayer or something like that, but they went on with it, and then the spiritual advisor say, "Do you feel with the spiritual water and the meditation, the good energy, the positive energy, this type of?" And then they was asking, and then some of the, I think it was Leah, Mama Leah said, "Well, she feel all right. It wasn't nothing too much, and stuff." And so Portia said, "Well, I'm not feeling right. My energy is not soothing. My energy is smoking." And the spiritual advisor, "What's going on, Portia?" And Portia said, "Somebody in the group is not telling the truth. Somebody in the group is not being truthful, and that's why my spirit, is not, and that's why my spirit and my energy is smoking." And so that's when Lauren spoke up and said, "Well, Portia, what's going on?" And then Portia said, "Y'all know what's going on. Y'all came into my house and got Dennis Versace robe without even telling me. She said the only reason why I knew about it was because your friend Dom said, you know, your sister got me carrying around your ex-fiance's robe and my bag. And she said, I didn't even know nothing about that, nothing about that. She said, Lauren, why you didn't tell me? So Lauren tried to explain that the reason why they went and got the Versace robe was because to bribe Dennis to come on the trip because Dennis didn't really want to come on the trip. And then Porsha said, Dennis, if you really didn't want to come on the trip, why did you say you wanted to come on the trip? He said, well, at first I didn't really want to come on the trip. He said, but my mama was going to come on the trip, so I came to support my mama. He said, what's the big deal? That's my Versace robe anyway. She said, I don't care if it is your Versace robe. You left it at my house in Dover. And she told Laura, don't y'all be going in my house, getting stuff out of my house. Porsha had a point. They should have asked Porsha, could they go in her house? They just shouldn't just sneak in her house. I know Lauren has the key because she used to be Porsha's assistant, but still, she should have went in Porsha's house like that. To me, that was wrong and irresponsible of her. And so Dennis kept telling Porsha what was wrong. Why was she so upset? And then Aunt Liz said, I agree. Why is Porsha? Why are you so upset? And then the camera switched on to Simon. Simon had this funny look on his face. He was quiet, but he wasn't saying anything. And then Londie said, yeah, me and Lauren said that's probably the only way that Dennis would want to go. And then that's when Storm interjected and said, well, yeah, she agreed with Porsha. People shouldn't be going in her house and doing this and doing that. And then she stood up and then Londie said, girl, you better sit down. You know you ain't gonna be doing nothing. And then Londie said in her confessional, yeah, Porsha do have a lot of yes people that's gonna jump up and agree with her. And then they kept arguing back and forth, and then the scene ended. I really do like the show, but you could tell that, like I said in previous interviews, this seemed like more like the Dennis and Porsha show, and Simon is just up there for being a statuette or something. I don't know what it is, but you could tell of the next episode that Simon is getting a little bit fed up. This is A. Western. That ain't even tells it like a Ti is. I am out.